How's it, everyone, and welcome to another season and episode of Culture the Podcast. The reason you're seeing this intro and not the intro to the actual podcast is because we had a little technical difficulties with the camera. Wouldn't be our first time. It's not going to be our last. Those of you guys who follow us or have watched episodes or critiqued episodes, you know who you are. You guys know that we've made mistakes in the past, so hopefully things got a little worked out along the way, but this season hopefully will be much better. We've got a lot of things in store. We got a lot of guests planned. Hopefully we can get the schedules right and get it all going. But this is going to be the intro to the new season and the first episode of the new season with Conor Buckley from Conor Buckley Media. It was a good conversation talking about content creating and all the things that come along with it. We started off with just kind of a brief overview of Conor and what he's been up to and what he does. And then we kind of get into just what it is to make content and the pressures and the things that we feel. So you're going to get into the episode midway into about 5 minutes into the episode. So there's some things that you might not understand how we got to that topic, but I apologize. We will fix it. We will get better, and we will continue to improve. And if you guys like the new format, if you guys like the set and different things that we're doing, please comment below and let us know how we're doing and what we can do better. Eric, we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, guys. Shoots. Here we go. Episode.
And I've been down. We have a new camera, so bear with us.
All good.
No, yeah, I didn't expect the screen to go off there. So I was like, oh, shit.
The difference between not missing the shot in sports versus missing the shot at the wedding, you will get absolutely annihilated by that bride or the family if you don't get that. You missed that shot. I missed somebody I've been covering for the past like 4 or 5 games. I missed her home run because I was walking to the car to get a picture for another person. And sure enough, she hit the home run where I was walking. I saw a dad holding a kid catch it with his left hand. And I was just watching the ball, but I had my camera on my hip, and I'm like, I could have been got this whole moment. So she's running around the bases. So I shoot it from about 200 feet behind the fence, which is 225 feet. So about 425 feet to home. But somehow I got lucky, and I got her high-fiving her coach as she rounded third, framed between people, and then all the crowd like over here. So it's one of my favorite pictures of that game, and it was something that I missed.
Yeah, you technically missed, yeah. You missed the moment you wanted, but you got
Mhm.
you got a dope moment out of it.
Yep.
So, but you do weddings and stuff as well?
Dude, funny story. I've done 2 weddings, and the first wedding, and it was like something I was like, hey, if I get the opportunity to, I'll go into it. But if you don't have anything to show, it's like kind of hard to break into, I guess.
Yeah.
So this one couple asked me, and they told me day of the wedding that it was a Spanish-speaking wedding. And I don't speak Spanish.
No,
And I found out the day of the wedding, 100% in Spanish. I edited the whole thing, didn't understand anything, and it turned out okay, but that is like on my resume now. I do Spanish weddings, and
Sick.
that's it.
How'd it go? Was it like tough figuring out like, all right, what's going on next, or was it?
Yeah, it was everything, because my first wedding, I'm figuring out audio, I'm figuring out angles, working with another photographer, how he works, and figuring out his style. And it was a shit show at the time. And then when it came together, I was like, okay, I never want to do this again. I want to do sports. You know,
Were you the primary or you were
primary?
Oh,
yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I just
was it enjoyable at all, or was it just like nerve-wracking the whole time?
After it was enjoyable. When I saw the finished product, I'm like, okay, that's how it goes.
I can do it. Yeah.
You know.
Cool, yeah. But we found that out with sports too. Like, he's been doing all this sports stuff, and he's like, dude, come out. You need to come out. So then I came out, and I took like the first game was like just dog shit B-roll, you know. And then I'm like, but as I'm watching, I'm like, this is where I need to be for this shot. and this is where I need to be for that shot.
Yep.
And like, oh, you know what would be sick if I went and got some B-roll of this right before
Yep.
they went up to bat or something like that. You know, like
Yes.
build up the moment.
Yes.
So you start like picturing the scenes when you're there. When you're sitting at home, you're like, oh yeah, I could do like
Yep.
a sporting event. Like,
Yep.
but then you get there and you're like, oh, where am I gonna go? Like, there's so much. So
Yep.
when you like narrow it down to like, these are the spots I like to be.
Yes.
These are like my signature angles.
Yep.
That's when it becomes a part of you.
I think when you notice that though, and you start seeing other people's videos, you like pick up, hey, they shot this over at that section. Maybe I could
Yeah.
try it next time over
Yeah.
there, and you get more
Yeah.
inspiration.
Or like, what
from
angles
that.
did they miss? Like,
Yep.
you know, like this has been done over and over. Like,
Yep.
can I get something else out of this? Like, frame it differently, put something in front of me.
Yep.
You know, like so you get like a patron or someone, yeah, like watching like over their shoulder or something. So
Yeah.
it's dope. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, really, because it's like you have all this content to go through and material to go through,
Yep.
and you're just like dreading. Like, I don't know how you do it.
So the way when I go and shoot a sport event now, and obviously I'll go up there, and a lot of times I'll just decide I'm gonna get photos today or I'm gonna get video. I don't like to switch beef because my camera, I don't know how long things last.
Yeah.
But I think one game I did 112 videos and 2,200 photos because I tried to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Got content for days, great photos, and all stuff. But what I do now is when I'm doing video, I'm not necessarily going there to try to film a game or catch a play. I'm going there to get the angle behind the catcher of the first baseman staring down at the catcher and whatnot. Because then you can, the way I like to slow it down and stuff like that is you can add that dramatic thing. And if the ball luckily
Yep.
gets hit to her,
Yeah.
then you're already ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do so much with
Yeah.
not even having the ball in play.
Yeah.
And most everybody else stands over there with their little monopods, with their big old bazooka lenses and stuff like that, and don't like to shoot through the fence. I love shooting. I have no problem.
I don't know about you guys, but me personally, when I'm watching a game, like you feel like everyone's there to try to get the shot. Like especially photographers, they're there to get the big shot. You know what I mean? The swing, the contact, home run, something like that. But for me, it's like the romance of the sport, where it's like the pitchers on the mound and like their story, or like the first baseman, what they're
Yep.
going through, and like you can almost like pinpoint on a player, and you're like, I'm gonna highlight this player and see what they're going through throughout the
Right.
like the emotions of the game. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, do they start off confident and then start getting nervous?
Yep.
You know, little things, and like you can pick it up in their faces, but no one's really like focusing in on that stuff because they're watching the game. They're just kind of like let's get this hit. You know?
So it's funny is actually I'm starting kind of like a series of posts that I'm gonna do like throughout the thing, and I started the first one with Kanaya. She plays for Pacifica. She's gonna go to UCLA, so she already committed on.
Stud, by the way.
Yeah, I was filming her from the center, just from center field, but it's kind of over her shoulder, looking at the catcher, and I just wanted to get her kind of setting up to a ball and whatnot, just so I can have different angles of her doing that. But sure enough, the ball was hit to her, so I have her be dropping to one knee, throwing it to first. So my little series that I'm gonna start going is gonna be called A Play in the Life. It's gonna be featuring Kanai. And I already have the next
Sick
one
name
with,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I already have another one with Giselle from like the side where I'm on her right side and she's a third baseman. She's sitting there waiting and she does her little hop and then there's a pop fly to her. So I have her tracking the whole pop fly.
Dude. But that's what you said earlier off camera too, is you do a good job at getting the dynamic photos that I feel like other people wouldn't think of. Like, why wouldn't you shoot behind the fence and get the fence and the story behind the point of view of that person, or getting the emotions of that high five? Like, that tells the story besides just a photo.
Yeah, because if I'm past the dugout and all that and I'm shooting somebody trying to hit, it's gonna be a good angle. You're not gonna really have much in the way unless base coaster is in the way. But when you can get by the fence just off the catcher's right, you can just get the catcher's eyes looking through their mask. You can get the person focused on the batter and all that.
Yep.
You can get the dugout in the background, which is my favorite shot to do. Is also get that dugout because it adds so much character to a shot.
Yeah.
So my goal when I take a lot of these photos, I want people to have art in their rather than just pictures of them. I want them to have pictures that they want to print, put up.
Right. With that.
So
What's your biggest challenge? Like
Oh.
well, just in the whole scheme of like cinematography and photography.
Money.
Yeah, the budget is deep.
No, but within the budget though, when you don't have the budget, realizing that it's not based on skill level, and that if you just keep fucking going, like it'll pay off, but just keep going, man. Because there's a lot of times where you're like, shit, is this worth it?
Yeah,
there's no money in my bank account right now. But then you start to see it come to fruition after years
That's
doing
dope.
it, you know?
That's dope.
Yeah, it's actually funny you mentioned that because this guy it drove him nuts how much stuff I give away, how much time
Yeah.
of my that I donate.
Yeah.
I mean, I have thousands of pictures posted online, and 50 of them are sold at times.
Free
stuff like that,
videos, free
for all
photos.
that stuff. But the relationships that I've built, the future things that will pay off.
Well, that's what like I think we work well together is that he has the ability to network. You know, he's a very charismatic guy and he loves talking to people and he loves like and he doesn't have the like the nerves don't get to him to where it's like I'm not gonna approach. He's thinking
Right.
like, why don't we just approach the coach and just ask him if we can just have the field for an
Yeah.
hour?
Worst
Yeah.
thing you can do is say no.
Exactly, and I'm
That's
just kind of like I
yeah.
don't want to be like I don't want to
Yep.
be that guy, you know. I don't want to go up there and
Yes.
just be like, hey,
Yes.
coach, you mind if?
Mhm.
And him roll his eyes, be like, but you don't realize how many times they're like, yeah, for sure, you
Yeah.
know, or like they're stoked about like, oh, you're gonna highlight
Yes.
my team, like, yeah, come on in, like,
Yes.
and like they open the doors for you. I'm like, dude, we're really getting this much
Yeah.
access. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, so we can have the locker room and we can just like do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
We just have like this much time to do it.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's dope, you know. But I was like, I never would have thought we'd have that much like freedom or free reign, just because I don't want to ask,
Yeah.
you know, just because I don't want to be that. Not that I want to be that guy. I'm not that guy. So for
I
him,
get that.
you know.
I get
But
that.
I'm more of the like, dude, your work is good enough. Why aren't we getting paid for
Right.
this? Why aren't you getting paid for this?
Yeah.
Like, you know, why aren't you getting paid for your time? Like, you need to make sure.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, yeah, dude, that's not what. And I was like, don't lose that. I don't. And that's another thing. I have a trouble trying not to discourage him from just doing things because he wants to do them. Because
Right.
you know, we should be focusing on like maybe like paying off some of the stuff that we got, taking
Right.
care of some of the
Right.
equipment, or making money to get better equipment. You
Right.
know.
Yeah. I
But-
mean, the times when I found like in the beginning, dude, I was doing free stuff for everybody, and I would like, I mean, I would go on Google and just like every business local like in my area, hey, free video, go on their Instagram, DM them, no, 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 yes, okay, cool, we
Nice.
got one, and that was like old traditions.
Yep.
And they were like, dude, come out and film us,
Jason's
and
awesome.
then those relationships within that business happened, and then it started to branch out. It's like, okay, now I see how this works. You know,
Jason's the same. He's actually one of the sponsors of the podcast, and he's opened his doors to us. And like, and it's something simple too. He's just like, dude, come film here.
Mhm.
Like, and then we wanted to make sure we highlighted him, his business, what he's been through. He's got a great story.
He actually
Yeah.
he sponsors my boys basketball team too.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah,
just like
yeah, dude,
he's
he's awesome.
and he is similar to me when it comes to like business mindset and networking, you know. But he's just like he's a saint. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that guy. That guy's awesome, and everything
Man.
that he's done for Jake and everything. I mean, even I'm sure that's part of the connection. that's
Yeah,
brought
well,
this
I
together.
just started going there because it was across the street. Like my whole life is lived within a half a mile from my house. I ride my little red
Yep.
beach cruiser up.
Yep.
The girls will see me when I roll up to the softball field. They're like, "Hi!" But no, I just started getting cut by Chris. He goes by Kalaka's barber.
Yeah.
He started letting me bring my camera in when Evan would go in there, and I filmed a couple things. I did like a little stolen featured shoot with the stolen clothing guys and
Yep.
stuff like that. Just shooting Evan getting a cut. Sure enough, it branched out, and we did a roaming around episode there, our first
Yeah.
one. Hopefully, first of many, but
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. The podcast inside there, so yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's funny how you said though, like you're a social person as far as being, it's easy, it comes more natural for you to reach out to people who you don't know. For me, like I'm an introvert, but what I've learned is like you have your own style of presenting like your work,
Yeah.
I guess, and you can present your work the best. Like no one else
Right.
can tell you what you do better than you. So if you have like confidence knowing that, hey man, just explain what you do is best, you know.
Well, what I've noticed, and I'm introverted in the beginning, but then I really like I'm expressive. I'm very I
Yeah.
got a podcast for Christ's
Yeah,
sake,
yeah.
that, you know, with 6
Yeah.
viewers. It's like, why do you do it? Why do you do it? Well, it's like, yeah, it's a way to express myself without having to like make those ice breaking kind of first opinion or first
100%.
like first impression type of
Yep.
of like meetings. So you're just kind of like, nah, yeah, let me just go ahead and show this, and if people dig it, they dig it, and if they
Yep.
don't dig it, like whatever, I don't get harmed,
Yeah.
like, or I don't have to like have like egg on my face standing in front of
Yeah.
someone, like.
But now you
I
have
don't
your
like that.
audience.
Yeah, and then you have people that dig it, and then like it kind of helps build your confidence, and you're like,
Yep.
that's sick, you know, and then like you can express yourself,
Mhm.
like you like I feel like a lot of people that are like artistic and creative, they're very introverted, and they keep to themselves and they express themselves through their art. You know,
Yes.
That's exactly
Very
how
well
that's
said.
exactly how, I mean, you know me, I
Yeah.
hate crowds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when we worked together, we'd sit in the break room and I'd just go sit off in my corner. And if I had a couple people play a game, that's great. But
Yeah.
the only time I am social is with a camera in my hand. So I kind of equate it to, have you seen the movie Big Daddy? You know, the kid when
Yep.
he's all
It's your
nervous and he has
glasses.
the glasses?
Yeah.
That's
That's it.
exactly how I feel with the camera. Because then I can talk to anybody. I can just use that to kind of like, here you
Yeah.
go. Here's the
Yeah.
shot I
Yeah.
got.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like all that. But
It's a great icebreaker.
yeah.
Yes.
It's a great icebreaker. Yeah, it's sick. It's a dope feeling when you have people that actually like it, dig it, get behind you, you know. And then it's also like when you have people that are kind of like they kind of shit on you or kind of like hate on you for it,
Yep.
or like they're like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like seriously, like
Yep.
like there's better things that you can do. Like this is what
Yeah.
you're gonna do. This is what you're choosing to do with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That ends up being like a motivator. You know,
100%.
so you're like, all right, well, if you're gonna doubt me, then
Yep.
then okay, I'm
Watch
gonna do
this.
it, and yeah, and then like it just helps fuel, and then you get the feedback from the people, and it's I think the biggest struggle is focusing on the right people, you know,
Yep.
or like the right feedback, you know,
Yeah.
because it's easy to sit there and just be like, man, everybody fucking hates this. I don't know why.
Well, what's
Yeah.
funny is your biggest supporters are the people you don't realize. Like your closest friends and things like that, the ones that you've talked to forever, you won't hear a peep out of them. Nobody will book you for things, but the people that you meet for 5 minutes that you just connected with, they will support you to the. I mean, Jason, just like that's one of them. A
Yep.
lot of the people at softball, some of the parents that I've met over there, they're trying to just push my work out there too. And
That's correct. Have you
yeah.
guys found as creators like your friends that I'm saying like the bad friends or whatever who, hey, can you do this for free because I know you do this versus like, hey, let me support you by sharing your work. Like, have you gone through that at all? As
I've just chalked it up to like your closest friends, like I think they've seen you like go through so many phases that they're like, this is just another phase. So I don't know how much I'm gonna put into it. So I've already kind of just like wrote it off as like my closest friends they're gonna make fun of me.
right.
They're
right,
gonna
I get
like
you.
tease me about it. They support me. I know they support me, but they're gonna tease me about it. They're not gonna like sit there and be like, hey,
Yep.
dude, until they start seeing the ball rolling.
Yep.
And they're like, holy shit, you're serious about this. So if you're serious
Yeah.
about this, hey, you mind doing this? Or like you mind
Yeah,
like,
but see that
go ahead.
you mind doing this,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Yep.
are you free this afternoon or you got nothing going on? Cool. You want to come over to a baseball game? Sure. Yeah, it's probably be about this much. Oh,
Oh, you mean
Right.
it costs something?
yeah.
Where you're like,
do-
you missed it, you missed the era. The era you were making fun of me is the era I was doing shit for free.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like now it's like now this is my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like but look, because of our relationship, I'll
Yep.
I'll take something off the price or I'll just do it for this just because because
Mhm.
I need that time to
Yeah.
focus on this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I think a lot of people don't realize, the behind the scenes stuff where it's like I can't go to this not because I don't want to go to it, not because I don't care to go for it for you. It's that's taken away from editing time. That's taken away from
Kids time.
time with your family that you
Yep.
have sectioned out because you know you're going to be editing for 3 hours later. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't really just take this time to go do this. I can do it,
Yeah.
but I kind of need compensation for it.
We don't get free time as it is.
Yeah,
You know, we all
yeah.
know that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Live our lives a quarter mile at a time. It's all about family.
It's all about family. The Toretto theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of. I mean, I was explaining to you guys my schedule. I mean, I showed you the message I sent to a friend of mine about what I did that day, just from the hours of like 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and I ended up texting somebody that was asleep already, and I knew she was asleep, but we usually talk about our day at the end, so I talked about my day in a thread, like this long on the phone. And I'm literally thinking out loud as I'm talking. I'm like, I hope this is making you smile right now. I know you know why I'm talking like this. I'm like just going on. Sure
Yep.
enough, like right at the next day.
Most people text you most guys text a chick at 3 a.m. with you up for something completely different. He's texting like, "Are you up? I need to unload this entire day of what I went through."
I need to
It's
vent.
still the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, you're still trying to unload, whether it's at 3 a.m. or not.
One way or another, you're gonna unload.
Well,
You're gonna
3 a.m. I'm awake all
Fair
the
enough.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair
I
enough.
sleep about maybe like 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day for about 5 or 6 days a week. So, but I mean, that goes into the regular 9 to 5 job in addition to
You
this
mean
and
5
the
to
parenting.
9?
5 to
5 to
9.
9.
Yeah. Well, that's the second job. So
5 a.m. to 9 a.m. the next day.
between coaching, working, shooting, editing, yeah,
Dude,
It's
I don't know.
nuts.
That it actually terrifies me because I sit there and I see all the stuff that he does, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I don't know how he does it. I was like, I can't do that. I was like, if that's the pace he's gonna set, like, I'm fucked. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be able to like keep up with it.
I
But
couldn't be more excited that you bought that camera.
Yeah.
Like, I still wanted you to go Nikon, but that's a more of a personal thing. But
But,
we would have just had so much extra glass and like all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But he's got the Canon setup now that I think we're gonna start doing some big things coming up
Yeah,
soon.
dude.
it's gonna be sick. I'm stoked. And the funny part is that, I mean, I guess I can't tell if it's retail therapy or if it's actually like,
I'm sure it's a mixture.
now
of
that
both.
you have capability to do the things that you envision, you
Mhm.
know, it's like this, like, I wanted, like, it'd be so dope to get this shot, but I can't
Mhm.
with this camera,
Mhm.
or I can't with this, or I can't with these mics,
Mhm.
you know. So it's like I need to, and like you're so hesitant to like invest, and luckily I was able to trade a bunch of shit in and get it for, you know, a reasonable price. But it's like there's it's like, was this holding me back the whole time?
Right.
Because then
Right.
then as soon as you get it, you're like, all right, the floodgates of like
Yep.
creativity start to flow,
Yep.
and you're like, sweet, like, let me, I want to do this, let me go film this real quick.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, okay, well, now I got to schedule time for it,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
So
I mean,
it,
what I found with like at least equipment wise, there's the whole debate of like, oh, the equipment's going to make you better. No, it's not. You got to get your skill level better. But
Yeah.
I think it's both because
Yeah.
I started with like a Sony A6000. It couldn't record in 4K, nothing. So like I tapped out on like what I was able to do with it, and then
Right.
I'm like, okay, I can upgrade and do this, which would cause me to film better projects for clients.
Right,
And that's
right.
kind of how I viewed
Right.
like the buying better equipment thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Let's reset the shutter real quick, and I'll right back in.
And I've been down